My name is Matthew Lawes. I am the director and producer for City Sessions, and I'm an animator and director.
My name's Joe Bulmer, and I'm the sound engineer for City Sessions. I record, mix, produce all the sound. I also run a recording studio, City Sessions Studios.
How did the City Sessions website come about?
Well, basically, me and Joe have been childhood friends since the age of 5, living across the road from each other, and we decided that we wanted to showcase the London music scene, basically. Give a platform for artists, record some of our favourite artists, and initially, to a large degree, to experiment with film.
And the London music scene is particularly rich at the moment. Why do you think that is?
I think because there's a lot of really good musicians, and I think the music industry has changed quite a lot over the last couple of years, and it's becoming a lot of it is to do with live music. And there's a lot of...
and people are making money out of live music in a way that they weren't.
They weren't before.
Yeah.
Which gives control to a whole different area. That had the money for the distribution and the contacts within like the high street to sell records. They were the ones with the power, whereas now people can put on a gig in a living room if they want to, and showcase new music, and through technology, through the internet, through YouTube, through all these things, the power has shifted where people don't have to be selling a lot of records because people have access to people's music through things like Spotify and stuff like that.
And it's not about, there was the MTV generation, it's not about that anymore. It's almost the YouTube generation, I suppose.
Oh, very much so, yeah.
So it's completely shifted, and that's something that we wanted to, having started it about a year and a half ago, something to really to push and promote, and also because we go to a lot of live gigs and we really enjoy live music. So it was a case of promoting some of the amazing artists that we would find in your local pub or something you pay £2 to go and see them, and we almost felt like they weren't potentially getting the recognition they deserve.
Yeah, because you can present them with a platform where the whole world has access to them.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It really opens up the whole world of music to such a wider audience.
Yeah.
So when you first started, what was the kind of music that you were interested in that you were putting on the site?
Well, the first 3 artists, we had Kevin Tuffy, who's actually a college friend of ours, so that was kind of how we first started. He was the first one. We had someone called David J. Roach, and someone called Marquise Tolliver. I found Marquise underneath a bridge. He was busking at the time, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. I'd never heard of him prior to this. I just happened to be walking past, and yeah, it's kind of, and obviously
and he got a recording contract, didn't he?
And he didn't get a recording. Well, actually, we did the session, and then about 4 weeks later, he was on Jules Holland, and then he was signed to management, and everything kind of. He went from there basically. Yeah. And it's nice to see that process.
But none of them were particularly of a specific genre. Right. Like Kevin, for example, is quite a London, he's got a very London accent, and he's kind of a London folk singer kind of songwriter. And then you've got Marquise, who he plays violin and he plays auto harp, and has a much more almost like operatic range with his voice. But we've always just kind of music that's jumped out at us and really appealed to us, because
there's a sort of thread of singer-songwriters though, isn't there?
Yeah.
There can be. I think because of the format, because of the way it's done, I think to a certain element, to a certain degree, there can be. There's a lot of singer-songwriters, and it's quite easy to film them to a certain degree. So that does happen. But I think we've tried to not just put it towards that, just that itself. And so in terms of genre, we're completely open to any genre. That's been really important as well.
People often, I think, as well, even people who aren't singer-songwriter has become a genre when in fact it's not a genre at all. That's not a type of music. Two completely different people can be classed as singer-songwriters, but because of the way terms get coined and stuff, it's become kind of a genre, whereas it's more the fact that the way we film is often like outside, in outside locations and stuff.
Yeah.
And
So you need to be acoustic.
portable equipment is necessary. It'd be very difficult to have like drum kits because the drum kit would be too loud compared to somebody playing an acoustic guitar, whereas in a gig that would be amped up. So from a practicality point of view, a lot of people come across as singer-songwriters even if they are ordinarily like a full band setup and stuff like that.
I think we've also, we've done a lot of different genres in the sense of classical musicians, someone like Rosie Chan, for instance, and then we've also done electronic music. We did a session with a band called Fishing from Australia, and we filmed them, and they had these sample pads, and we filmed on a boat. And I think you can also change. It's very much the case of we can take. There's so many amazing locations in London.
Yeah, and you can do almost what you want.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
You can do,
and it's fun.
It's great fun.
That's
amazing.
the fundamental thing, though. I've never done a session where I felt like it was hard work. I mean, we've done sessions before where you get problems. So you might get too much noise from surrounding areas, or you might encounter problems with like access to certain areas, but it's always fun.
Yeah.
That's one of the fundamental things. We started it out as a fun thing to do because we love doing this kind of thing, and I would pack it in tomorrow if it wasn't fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's very
So,
important.
how many